Good afternoon. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for this press conference. I will tell you that the chief and I, along with my wife, visited the family this morning. A wonderful, down-to-earth family, a wonderful group of people, and we let them know how we felt about their loss and how bad it was. And we do not condone wrong. It doesn't matter who it is. And we're there to support them as we can for the future. I will also let you know that the officer that was terminated, his wife is 8 months pregnant, and while he's been terminated, the city is going to continue to cover the insurance on her for the baby until after the baby is born. We think that is the humane thing for us to do, and we're going to do that. I also will tell you that thanks to Senator Marlin Kempson and also one of the members of the state legislature, we received a grant to purchase 101 body cameras. Those body cameras are on order. Today I made an executive decision and have notified my council. We have already ordered this morning an additional 150 body cameras so that every officer that's on the street in uniform will have a body camera. Now I want you to know that it takes a while. Once the cameras come in, we have to train them on operation of the camera, but we also have to establish a policy. We have already been drafting a policy through the police department for our legal department to look at and make sure it meets muster. This has been a horrible tragedy within our community. There have been two families that have been harmed great by what occurred, both the victims and the officer's family. And our hearts go out to both of them. I was taken back by the warm and kind reception that we received today from the family. They are an outstanding family within our community. And the mother and father are wonderful people, and the other family was there. They're suffering. Those of you, however you choose to offer up prayers, please pray for this family in the time that they're going through. We will be there to support them for the funeral with a police escort to make sure that we get them moved properly and give them the utmost respect and the respect that the gentleman that is deceased deserves. We're going to allow you to ask questions after the chief speaks for about 10 minutes. I want to let the national media know we respect you. We are not going to do any national interviews until after the burial. I'm not going to make this a political forum for me and the city. What we're trying to do is make sure that the family has an adequate time to put their son to rest. And after that, we will start talking. We will be working within the community to have open dialogue on policies that we have, looking for ways to develop a closer working relationship with the individual communities. Our chief has been doing that for the last 2 years. You got to remember, we are the only city in the state that has a police officer in every school. And it's not just to create security in the schools, it's to create relationships between those officers and the young people within our community. And we will continue to look at ways to enhance the quality of service that we provide to our citizens. and by that I mean all of our citizens. So we'll be having some good open dialogue within the next 30 days. And those of you that are interested in taking part in that dialogue, if you would contact our office and let us know, and we'll be glad to consider you for that role. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Driggers and let him have some remarks.
So my heart goes out to the family today. Had a good visit with them. I got to meet a daddy who is in mourning, a mama who is in mourning, and we talked father to father. It was a good visit with them, and I would ask you to, however you give respect to individuals, give them the respect that they deserve during this time, and just know that we are doing our best here, not only as a city but as a police department, not only to serve during this time, but to protect you, all of you, and to serve this community as best we can, even though we've got a whole bunch going on. We're going to continue to strive to do what's right. We're going to strive to do what's right. I would just ask you to keep, I have been praying for peace. Peace for the family and peace for this community. And I will continue to stand on that as I strive to protect and serve the people I took an oath to do so. So that's it.
Any questions?
Chief, can I ask you?
No justice!
Chief,
No justice!
no peace!
No justice!
No peace! Chief, there were other
May I make one statement? We only have 10 minutes. That we're going to allow these people to ask their questions. We understand how you feel and what you're saying. We don't have any issues with that. But if we can have an opportunity to answer their questions, because Mr. Pryor said he's going to cut it off.
Let's go 1, 2.
He'll call on you.
We'll go 1, 2 right here for right now.
Chief, there were other officers in that video. Did any of them ever come forth and say that Slager was not telling the truth?
To my knowledge, nobody was witness to anything but Slager.
Chief, two of
To
your sergeants have said in statements that CPR was performed by an Officer Habersham. Officer Habersham just says he did pressure, did not perform CPR. Was CPR ever performed on this man, as far as you know?
I'm gonna be totally honest with you.
Do that.
I am, and give me just a second. The honesty comes from my heart. I have watched the video, and I was sickened by what I saw. And I have not watched it since, but in that end, because I've been receiving a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails, in the end of it, what I saw was I believe to be a police officer removing the shirt of the individual and performing some type of life-saving. But I'm not sure what took place there.
But you don't know if CPR was performed?
Oh, I do not know. I was told that life-saving, they tried to save his life when we got to it.
And if I can further elaborate, should CPR be performed right away in a situation like that after you know that everybody's safe? And who was that first officer on the scene, the African American officer? Which is that Habersham?
Yes.
Chief. So should that have been performed?
In the video, we see them dropping something. We see the officer dropping something near the body, but it's not clear what that is. A lot of people have suggested that what the officer was dropping was a taser. Do you have any information on that?
We have turned, and we're under no obligation to turn a an investigation over. We could have investigated this ourselves. But we chose to turn it over to SLED because that's the right thing to do. To have an independent agency do the investigation. There are questions that I have in my mind that I can't answer right now. And those questions are going to have to be answered by Scarlett Wilson, the solicitor, and by SLED. And I can't answer those questions. And so I would just refer those specific questions to the people who have investigated this to the fullest extent.
Right next question, right this young lady.
Do you have police procedures in place?
Right here.
Do you have police procedures in place? What are your procedures? And were they followed?
Obviously not.
Do you have procedures in place for dealing with a wounded suspect or victim, or are there procedures in place?
Is it normal procedure to handcuff him after he's shot?
Let me get, hold on, wait a minute, let me answer the questions for you that we can answer. First of all, we don't have all the information. Both.
The chief of police or the mayor? Which one?
I'm asking you to respect me as I'm going to respect you. Okay. And I'm talking to the media. Okay? I've got, the people can hear.
Community member was killed, not the media.
We're about to close this press conference.
Not the media.
We're about to close the press conference. I am, Skylar, you had a question.
Why do you think the city did not turn into a Ferguson, given that you have the shooting of an unarmed black man by a white police officer? What do you think prevented the cauldron from boiling over in that immediate 24-hour period after the shooting into Sunday?
I think it's because we did what was right. We turned the investigation over to an independent agency that does not work for the mayor and does not work for the chief. We also then tried to get all the information that we could and turn over to them. And that's why some of the questions that are being asked today, we don't have that evidence. That evidence was presented to SLED. We gave them everything that we have. They're the ones that really need to answer any questions about investigation. And
right there.
Well, hold on, I'm still answering Skylar. Yes, sir.
When did you start to believe that there was something wrong in the officer's story and there might have been a videotape explaining or showing that it didn't match?
I saw the videotape yesterday for the first time.
Did you believe your officer until you saw the videotape?
Yeah. You can answer.
I had no reason to rely on anything but the evidence that we have, and I was not engaged in the investigation, so I did not have the evidence.
You're the mayor. Where's the chief of police? You're the mayor. We want to talk to the chief of police.
Go to the question. This young lady right here.
Young lady? Yes, ma'am.
Officer Slater was exonerated in 2013 for excessive force against an African-American man, even when the witness who was there said that this was not the man that was the suspect in a crime that had been committed. How is he exonerated for something like this if he's shown his use of excessive force, particularly against the who was not the suspect?
He went through a process that goes through the department, and that's part of the personnel file. We'll be glad to release it to you.
Is that the only incident? Is that the only
Taser?
Yeah, with the exception of the
Yes, sir.
24.
Did the Taser have a camera?
The Taser does not have a camera.
Second question, a lot of this community, about half of this community is African American, yet 80% of the police department, as I understand it, is white. Is it time for that to change?
Yes.
Let me say that we recruit African American members to the police department. Anyone that can become certified as a police officer, we're more than willing to hire. The problem is we have a very limited number, even to the point that we've started going out and recruiting from other departments. where we can get certified minority police officers to work for us.
This gentleman with the hand.
Was there ever a fight over the taser? I mean, was there any truth to what the officer originally said?
I think that if you get all of...
What are you still thinking?
Let's hear the answer.
No one respects you.
Let's hear the answer. Thank you.
The answer to your question, sir, is that if you are made privy to all of the video, I have not seen all of the video, so therefore I can't answer the questions.
Andrew.
There's the car video. SLED has that. And what I understand, the video that I saw was not all of the video that exists. We only were able to look at what was given to us. I haven't seen it. No.
Right here.
Yes, sir.
Go.
We want triggers.
Go.
We want triggers. We want triggers. We want triggers. We want triggers. We want triggers.
Sorry, let him go.
Yes, sir. I need a little bit louder.
What is the make and model of the handgun?
I have.
We can leave that get that information to you. I am not that familiar with guns.
Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, would you please explain to the people why it is that you won't allow Chief Driggers to answer? I can speak for myself. I can speak for myself. Please, respect. Why the people would like to know why it is that you won't allow the police chief to answer police-related matters, even though we know that you are the man in charge. We understand that, but the people are asking for the chief to answer these questions.
Because the chief is not allowed to answer any questions about the investigation because there's another agency doing the investigation. They are not giving us permission to release that information. We don't have it.
Who would be the contact person where we can verify that?
What is Tom Berry with SLED?
This gentleman right here.
Yes, sir.
We talked to SLED. The last time we talked to him, they said that Officer Slager had not provided his official narrative to the investigation to you guys handing up to SLED. Has Officer Slager provided his official account of what happened?
That is, again, SLED is who he gives that to. We do not get that.
SLED is saying he doesn't have it. So as far as you know, he has not given his official narrative of what happened.
That, again, that's something that SLED would have to answer.
Chief, is there anything you can head nod to say that yes, he is still involved in the investigation, or is he fired and gone?
He is terminated. He is no longer here.
Is he not even involved in the investigation at this point? Is that result?
I think what we're trying to tell you, we're not doing the investigation.
I understand that.
SLED is, so therefore they're the agency that has to give you any information from the investigation.
It's the last gentleman.
Handcuff somebody after they are shot.
That is standard policy across the country.
This is the last gentleman right here.
Yes, the last question right here.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
Given what's happened, are you now taking a look at this officer's other arrests and other cases that he was involved in?
We are. That is something that we'll have to move to in the future. We're still waiting on all the information to come back to us from SLED.
It's something you're considering.
That's right. That's right.
It's something you're considering. You are considering looking at the other cases this officer made, other arrests he's made, other incidents he's had with other residents.
We will look at that. Any questions anybody has, we're more than willing to look at.
Thank them in there.
Will there be any more disciplinary actions as far as other officers? The other officers?
That has to come with the investigation. And so I can't tell you until we know exactly if there were any other officers engaged or involved before I can tell you that there would be any type of punishment that would go out.
What was their role, Mayor, at the scene? What was their role, the other officers? Somebody could tell me.
The only role that I know from what I saw from the video was the first officer that responded, and he came up to the gentleman laying on the ground and was checking him out. I did see one of the officers at one time check. My understanding that there's more video than I saw, and that other officers, not every officer is CP